Australia is no longer the lucky country it used to be. It escaped the damages of the global financial crisis in 2008, but the pandemic has dealt a severe blow. Australia has slipped into its first recession in nearly 30 years. The GDP has contracted by 7% in the April to June period. It's the sharpest contraction since the 1930s. Australia's problem is multifold. The pandemic, the bushfires, and then there's China. Here's a report.
The Australian economy used to run tirelessly. It even set a record with 28 consecutive years of growth. That great run has now officially come to an end. The cause, a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic. The effect, a Wuhan virus-induced recession.
Australians know that's the case, Mr. Speaker. Australians know, Mr. Speaker, that many months ago that this day would come. And this day has come. And, Mr. Speaker, as the pandemic continues to have its impact, not just here, Mr. Speaker, but all around the world, there will be further difficult days ahead.
Even before the pandemic, the Australian economy was stuttering. Bushfires raged over 12 million hectares, crashing tourism and hurting businesses. As the government was trying to put out the fire, the pandemic struck. Australia, like the rest of the world, went into a lockdown. In the January to March period, the GDP contracted by 0.3%. In the April to June period, it contracted by 7%. The 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth have pushed Australia into a recession. Its first since 1991. Even the global financial crisis in 2008 could not hurt Australia. It was the only major economy to avoid a recession. But the pandemic has dealt the lethal blow. Australia has lost its famous tag of the lucky country. Nearly 1 million Australians have lost their jobs. The government has pumped close to $150 billion as economic stimulus.
If they don't announce significant changes in the October budget, and that remains to be seen, there will be a big pullback in terms of government support. So that's another danger zone for the economy, that final 3 months of the year.
Australia has done better than most of the major economies in controlling the virus outbreak. But the second wave of infections in the state of Victoria is likely to delay economic recovery.
But it's important to recognise that this fall in the June quarter does not include the economic impact from the Stage 4 restrictions imposed by the Victorian Government in early August. This is something that will weigh heavily on the September quarter numbers.
Australia has fared better than some economies. But the road ahead will be full of hurdles. Australia relies excessively on its largest trading partner, China. Steady exports of coal, iron, and other natural resources to China contribute to Australia's consistent growth. But now, China has slapped tariffs. After Australia called for a probe into the origins of the Wuhan virus. Australia's problems are both external and internal. The time is right for a hard reset, both economically and politically. Bureau Report, WION World is One.